You better get your life. Get your life. Yes, y'all. Come on now, sign up for ifyoucanmove.com. All right, go in and buy some things from Team LASHAE. Get your workout journey going. Y'all know how y'all do. It's about to be January. Y'all gonna have, wants and resolutions and all of that, and then y'all not gonna stick to them. So once y'all start it off right, okay, get y'all some TLC products to clean out all that food and alcohol that y'all drinking. Get you some NutriBurst to replenish you so you don't be out here getting sick and getting a cold. Okay, keep yourself healthy. Try that sea moss that get that phlegm up out you. Okay, y'all go and check out TLC products because they really will help you stay, on track with your journey and aid you in your process. Sign up for Team LASHAE and sign up for the online gym. Go check out and see what my girl got. Y'all know I'm also an affiliate for her boutique, Pasia and Amari, which has really cute workout clothing and jackets and masks and just all kind of cute stuff. So y'all go and check out that link. Now y'all know I'm an affiliate for PrettyLittleThing. Don't forget about that. And please don't leave. Okay, because I know how y'all be trying to skip through the ads. But listen, I am on Station Head. I did my first show. It was so amazing. Thank you to everybody that joined. Also, I started a Discord. If you are a member or a Patreon, check and check your timeline. I sent you guys an invitation to my Discord. If you want to join my Discord, all you have to do is either be a Patreon or a member over here. I would prefer for you to be a Patreon, just because you know how you never know with YouTube, but whichever is fine. But with Patreon, you can pick however much you want to give. I think it's like $1, $2, goes all the way up to $4 or $5, I believe, $5. So yes, but please do me a favor and go and sign up for my Patreon so you can be on my Discord. We're gonna do watch alongs. We do video talks. I actually had like a whole conversation with 2 of my Patreons on there today before I came and recorded. I had such a good time with them. So thank you 2 ladies for joining me. I know it was y'all's, it was Brown Girl and then it was Shanda or Shonda, something like that. Y'all got to start giving me y'all real names when we get into these environments, okay? If you come on my Discord and we talking and all of that, say your real name so I could be like this person. Because it's hard for me to remember usernames, okay? But anyway, I love y'all so much. Thank y'all for joining the Discord. But yeah, y'all support in all of these different ways. Check down below in the description box. Okay, follow me on Instagram and let's get into the video. Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl Bondi Blue and I am back for another power review, y'all. It's finally back, y'all, and it's good. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into it. So the episode starts off, we see that Davis and Saxe are meeting up on their own time in plain clothes, no suits. Okay, Method Man came in there. Okay, it wasn't Davis, it was Method Man that had sat down. Okay, if it wasn't for the haircut, because I feel like Method Man keeps a fade. I don't know if he really be out here with his little fro like that, but it don't even matter because he's Method Man. But either way, they sit down and go over the jury pool together because the plan is to get Tasha off and then arrest Tariq. Tasha calls Tariq to tell him that Davis is making her go to trial. She wanted to take a plea deal, but Davis was like, no, we going to trial. So he must think that, he can win. They think that they should trust him because, you think you should trust a lawyer that you're paying for your own best interest and everything. But not when he's going to put your son in the line of fire to get you off. And I don't understand how they don't see it yet. I mean, there is really no other option. Now, Tariq was in class when she called, so he had to hurry up and get off the phone when all of the classmates come in. And they're like, oh, look who's here early, trying to make us look bad, okay? And it's Professor Carrie, y'all. Y'all know I call her Professor Zoe because she was Zoe on This Is Us, okay? But either way, she's the professor of the class today, and they're discussing I forgot who it was, but it was, 2 opposing ideas, whether people are innately bad or innately good. And to me, it's really just believing that everything is black and white and that there is no gray area. So there, of course, there's like, this little Caucasian girl in the class. Everybody knows wrong is wrong and right is right. And, everything is just black and white. No, it's not. Everything isn't black and white. Like that's not the truth at all. And it's just ridiculous. So Lauren and Brashandria are like, girl, cap, okay? That is not true. But of course, like, I just think it's hilarious when someone who has no real concept of life, like not really, because if you did, you would realize that a lot of the times there's a whole bunch of gray area. Okay, like in life period, there is gray area all over the place. So when people think that right is right, wrong is wrong, for everything, no, I don't agree with that. For some things, I feel like there's a line for me, and I will put a line in the sand for certain things. You know what I'm saying? But ultimately, on an individual level, there's a lot of gray area. You know what I'm saying? As far as I'm concerned. But this sparks a conversation in the classroom that has Tariq thinking, okay? Are you innately good and bad? Are you fundamentally good or bad, Tariq? Like, can we really even answer that? Because I feel like fundamentally Tariq is bad. But then not really. You know what I'm saying? Like, we hated him that entire time we were dealing with the first power. But now we're in Power Book 2, and do you want him to go to jail? Probably not. Like, I want him to get off. Is it just me? I mean, in all honesty, I can't even really be mad at him for the way he felt about James. Like, you the one that thought you was going to be able to be a kingpin and your child was going to come out shiny and clean on the other side of that. Like, no, that's not how any of this works. Saxe and Davis go to court and the judge tells them to act like they have some sense, okay? Because things tend to get a little nasty between Davis and Saxe. But they go through the jury pool and it starts to become obvious that Saxe is picking a jury pool that will get Tasha off. A lot of African American people, one man specifically, who felt like, you know, there aren't a lot of opportunities for disenfranchised black people. So yes, drugs have harmed our community, but when you give people nothing, what else are they supposed to do? You know, when they see the light somewhere, they are going to jump on that bandwagon. Everybody sees, you know, the money that drug dealers get. They see the access, they see the lifestyle, and they look at what they have and they have nothing. So it's kind of like, well, if that's my only option, what else am I going to do? See, gray area. Steven, y'all know that Saxe's boss, I guess. I really thought he was working for the Democratic Party. So at this point, I'm just a little confused about why, you know, he's so hell-bent on making Tasha out to be the bad guy. Like, I mean, does anybody really care at this point? We didn't forgot about James St. Patrick. Do you think the public is out here, you know, really thinking that if it comes out that he was really the drug kingpin and Tasha gets off, that, you know, that's going to ruin the Democratic Party? Like, for who? It really is funny to me. Like, who are y'all pandering to exactly, Steven? But Steven is pissed off at Saxe and feels like, you know, you setting yourself up to lose with this jury pool, but he has no idea that Saxe and Davis are working together to get Tariq. So Davis and Saxe set their sights on 2-Bit. They want 2-Bit, aka Francis, to come out and testify that, first of all, Tommy Egan was the head of the drug ring, you know what I'm saying, in a sense, okay? But that he worked for Tommy and that Tasha wasn't involved. Like, that's what's supposed to happen when he gets on the stand. But y'all know how 2-Bit is. 2-Bit isn't a snitch. He doesn't want to get on the stand. But Davis has to come to him and present it with different facts along with Blanca Rodriguez. And they just basically sell it to him in a nigga, I'm trying to get you out of jail type of way. And they eventually get him to agree to get on the stand with a transactional deal that really says he just has to get on the stand and, you know, answer questions to the best of his capability. It has nothing to do with whether he's going to tell the truth or not. So I just kind of thought Saxe was setting himself up for the okie doke. He always proves to be stupid. Is it just me? Like, even though this is what y'all are orchestrating, he still came out looking dumb somehow. We'll get to it, but Jesus Christ, Saxe. Now I realize why your family clowns you the way they do. You are such a fuck up. So Monet is annoyed with her kids, okay? She is starting to feel like they too interested in going to school. They too interested in going to college. I need y'all to come with me to the club because y'all gonna bag these drugs and count this money like the good drug dealer kids that y'all are, that I am raising y'all to be. Diana says that she's just mad because of the party that they had. Monet says that they've been spending way too much time at Stansfield. Diana says that she told them to go there in the first place. They didn't go just because. They went because she sent them there to check on Tariq and see what was going on with the drug selling. Drew brings up that Zeke is at Stansfield and Zeke gets to do whatever the hell he wants to do. And Monet reminds him that Zeke isn't in the bed of someone he's not supposed to be. And I'm just kind of like, you know, I'm starting to notice that Monet and her old man view their children as loyal foot soldiers, not as children, not as human beings that you are raising up to eventually live your own lives. Y'all are raising them to be y'all soldiers because you know you can trust them. That's what it feels like to me. Bobby Brown hears the comment about being in somebody's bed and think the comment was towards Diana, and Tariq thinks that they the ones that are doing it. So he's like, I told you, leave him alone. Okay, we doing business with him. You don't need to be messing around with him. It kind of grabs her arm. She like, fool, get the hell off me. Okay, Drew is annoyed because Diana is telling his business. Drew can keep a secret, so Drew just keeps his mouth shut and walks away. But Bobby Brown thinks this is about Tariq and Diana. Monet takes them down to the spot. Okay, takes their phones away from them and leaves them down in the basement to bag drugs and count money all day. That's their punishment. They are way too spoiled and they need to see what this is really hitting for. Okay, while they're there, even though she took their phones, she just puts them somewhere. I'm like, why wouldn't you take their phones with you, bitch? That doesn't even make sense to me. Gonna take the phones and put them over here on the counter. Now, the little basketball player that Drew has a thing with is blowing up his phone. Now, the last time they were together, he was freaking out because he found out that they were Zeke's cousins. He don't want anybody on the team to know that he's gay because he's trying to go pro. And if they find out you gay, you may not go pro. Okay, so at the end of the day, even though he is gay and he's comfortable with being gay, this is about him getting to the pros. This is about him making it to the pros. It's about him being able to have his dream and be who he is at the same time. And right now, it's in his best interest to keep everything on the hush hush. Of course, this is not ideal for Drew, who, you know, wants to be in a relationship with somebody who's open, okay? But he's still really feeling him. So the whole time, Ev is blowing his phone up and he's just kind of sitting there, you know, legs shaking, trying to bag the drugs, but he wants to go see about Ev. Diana is like, Monet is gonna kill you, don't do it. But eventually, after the umpteenth call, he jumps up to go see about Ev. And it's so funny to me, like, you was so running to go and see him, okay? You was excited to see him, but then show up to the door like, what you want? I was like, shut up, like, front your ass off. So Drew and Ev have this conversation about how it just really matters to him that he makes it to the pros. That's his dream, you know? And he's like, isn't there anything that you ever wanted, Drew? And Drew was like, yeah. And he's looking at him. So then they start getting into it. And then they hunch, okay? They hunch. And then romantically, Ev lays on his chest and they just talk about how they don't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, how am I supposed to be myself, be with you, and have my career at the same time? I hate people. You know what I'm saying? They're having this conversation. And then he gets a text. It's his tutor. I'm like, his tutor? Like, if you don't want nobody to know you gay, why is you going to the door with your man in here naked and you with no shirt on? Like, what is this? But it was drug dealers. Okay, y'all know the tutors that drop off the little lesson plans and then have the drugs taped to them. So now Drew has figured out how Tariq is selling drugs on campus. This might save his ass with Monet. So Sax and his niece, y'all, she's still seeing Braden, okay? She says that's her boyfriend. And Sax wants her to stop seeing him because, you know, he could be involved in all of this. She swears up and down that Braden isn't involved in anything illegal. She knows him. He's a good guy, just like you, Uncle Nancy, blah, 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 blah. I was just kind of like, first of all, you just met him. Second of all, you don't know him because he's definitely involved in all of this. Third of all, I cannot stand her. She's so annoying to me. Between Riley and Trace, I don't know who I want to get killed more. There's also conversation of Sax having a sex doll named Rebecca in his closet. Yeah, Sax, you really should think about a different line of work, because if you can't find you a real woman on your time off, like, is it really worth it? Like, your life just seems hella depressing right now, Sax. Just saying. Tariq goes to Lauren's room because apparently she forgot her gloves in class. I don't know if I believe that. It kind of seemed like he probably stole the gloves off of her so he would have a reason to go to her room. But they have a conversation about the conversation in class. Are you fundamentally good or are you fundamentally bad? And Tariq is like, what does it matter whether I'm fundamentally good or bad? You know what I'm saying? What difference does it make? And this is the point where they start, you know, getting all close to each other and they're about to kiss. But then Lauren's annoying ass boyfriend comes knocking on the door. She forgot he was in town. He was like, well, that's not a good sign when you forget that I'm in town. I'm like, well, yeah, sir. And then he's mad because she was pictured online at a party with a drink in her hand, like, cheers. You know, it wasn't nothing embarrassed, but she was just like, cheers in the picture. And he's upset because she's online and pictured being inebriated and she can't do that. And it's just like, Lauren, let him go. Let him go. I know your parents want you to be with some, you know, future politician, and that's why your life has to be squeaky clean and all of that. But you're so not into him. Let it go. I don't even like Malcolm. Let Malcolm go find a woman like Monica from Girlfriends who wants that life so bad that she's willing to do whatever for it. Lauren is not that person. Tariq walks up, okay? He's, about to leave since Malcolm is there now. And Malcolm confuses him again for Jamal, whoever Jamal is. I guess someone who Lauren tutors. And he was like, dude, my name is Tariq and I'm about to go. So he walks out and Malcolm is looking all weird and shit. And Lauren is looking like she's sad that Tariq is leaving and now Malcolm is here in her room so he can lecture her on how she should be living her life. Because that's what we all want from our boyfriends. For them to be a parent. Brayden is in his room and he had been hitting up Trace because y'all remember last time we saw Trace, he stole all of the drugs out of their apartment or their room or whatever, talking about whatever is yours is mine. And Trace thinks this shit is all a game. It's all funny to him. My boys wanted to have a good time and the drugs were there and whatever is yours is mine. Ha ha ha. And Brayden, they start kind of wrestling, but his brother's bigger than him, so he gets him in a full Nelson, and then Bobby Brown comes breaking down the door looking for Tariq, but Tariq isn't there. Brayden, doing way too much talking, says, yeah, I know who you are. You're Kane, right? Yeah, okay, Tariq told me. We're in business. We're on the same side together and all of this. Because Bobby Brown pulled the gun on Trace when Trace said, this is a family situation, so whatever ghetto shit you have going on. As soon as that ghetto word came out of his mouth, Bobby Brown pulled out that Glock on that ass, okay? Which I just kind of was hoping that he would just shoot Trace. Like, I don't want Bobby Brown to go to jail for shooting Trace, but I want somebody to get rid of Trace. Like, is it just me? Is it just me? Like, do we need more Traces? I don't think we do, but whatever. Bobby Brown figures since Brayden knows who he is and has his name in his mouth, he's going to take them on a little trip. So at gunpoint, he takes them down to the Bronx, Brooklyn, whatever, puts them on corners with some drugs and tells them to sell drugs on the corner, okay? Trace, of course, has no idea what to do. He's scared. I mean, he even tried to use a payphone. I'm like, there are no payphones. Even if it's there, it's not working, but whatever, okay? Brayden gets dropped off on a corner, has a little guard in his pocket, talks to some of the homeboys on the corner, and then starts selling, okay? Was selling like hotcakes out this bitch. Definitely turning into Tommy. Definitely turning into Tommy, okay? He had a good night out there on that corner. He said, they love me. It's like, no. You came with drugs and you were, an even temperament. Black people love when white people come with drugs and handcuffs aren't followed behind them, okay? Just saying. It's not that they love you. They love the situation that we were all in when you showed up with drugs for free, with the gall. And it was just like, yeah, I'm gonna just make some phone calls and bada. And listen, okay? So Bobby Brown eventually comes back to pick him up, okay? He did great. He's worried about his brother because he knows his brother ain't about that life. Trace is on the corner about to get jumped by some essays. And I love the way Bobby Brown made Brayden wait until he got beat a few times. Like, punched him a few times, got him on the ground. He was like, all right, go get him. I was like, right, just let him get his ass whooped a little bit. So Tariq finds Riley in his room, okay? She's looking for Brayden. They were supposed to meet up. She's so annoying. She's not going to leave his room until she finds out what happened to Brayden or until Brayden comes back. So she makes him play chess with her. I was like, I'd have kicked her ass out my room. Like, I'd have been like, if you ain't gonna leave, I'm gonna call campus security. So what's up? Like, you ain't all I just manhandled her and pushed her out. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, you gonna get the fuck out of my room. Like, I'd have just pushed her out of my room. But I get it. He didn't even want to have all of those issues. But they end up sitting there playing chess together. And she's like, so do you know where Brayden is? Is he in any trouble? And when she's questioning Tariq, I mean, he starts to like pay attention, but in all honesty, like when you came in your room, she was looking through your shit and you sitting up here playing chess with her like it's all good. Even though there was nothing for her to find. I mean, he had a gun in his desk and she hadn't gotten to that yet, but I just kind of feel like, why are you letting it slide that this girl is obviously all in your business? Like, hello, Tariq, you're supposed to be so damn smart and you're not picking up on the fact that Riley is doing entirely too much for a girl that just seems to want Brayden. Like, what is going on here? Monet comes down and finds out that Drew left. She's pissed. Diana is like, listen, I'm still here. I can go and get him, because Monet has to stay behind and work. So Diana says, I know where he is. I'll go and get him. So she pops up at Ev's room to get him. And this is when he tells her about the situation with how Tariq is selling the drugs. She wants to tell Monet because this will get, them off the hook with her. But Drew doesn't want to tell her because he thinks that she'll shut Tariq down and they would no longer have a reason to go back to Stansfield so he can see Ev. Like, dude, get this dude penis off your mind. Like, I feel like you got way too much in the balance for you to be making decisions only based off of whether Ev is involved. Like, come on. Diana tells him that he needs to get home in 2 hours or Monet is gonna, come break down some doors out this bitch. So get home. And she goes to see Tariq. Tariq has Riley in his room, so he doesn't let her in. She thinks that Lauren is in his room. She confronts him about how he's selling on campus. He confirms it. She's upset. So she goes home and tells Monet, even though he asked her not to. Everybody thinks that Monet is going to shut him down for some reason. But Monet honestly thought it was smart. When Diana got home, she's like, yeah, he's selling them through the tutors and it's just really bogus. But, our drugs are attached to these study guides or whatever. Monet clocks that Diana is telling her this because she thought that she would shut Tariq down. But to no avail. She asked her, did you have sex with him, Diana? And Diana's like, no, nothing happened. She was like, then you'll get over it. From now on, it's just business. Now, back when they was in that basement, Diana told Drew that she felt like he didn't really like her like that and she doesn't like him like that. But she was lying, okay? She liked him like that. And honestly, she don't need to be worrying about him. She needs to be worrying about how she can be a queen pin and have her shit on Skizite. Okay, she needs to be worrying about her own self, okay? Because in all honesty, I feel like nobody's worrying about Diana but Diana. Monet acts like she cares about her kids' well-being, but in all honesty, you only want to keep them in line. Like, all of this aggravation this episode is because you're trying to keep them in line because you don't want the soldiers that you can trust to become the soldiers that you can't trust or that have ulterior motives because they have their own lives that they want to live and they can't because you want them to be in the drug business, okay? The fact that she's trying so hard to keep her kids away from college, I have never seen something so damn dumb in my life. Like, I was just like, so we trying real hard to keep our kids away from higher education. Okay, jeez. To be honest, it would be smarter if you would send Diana to business school and make sure she learns how to do accounting so she can clean y'all money and she can have a business that's a front for the drug business. I mean, that would make way more sense than to just have them slinging like old school. Like, you got them slinging old school. And if I've learned anything from watching 6 seasons of Power, it is that you need a front. And I don't see a front happening here. I'm just saying, it would be so much better if Diana would actually go to school. But I guess that would give her separation from the business, and Monet doesn't want that. Davis and Paula talked to Tasha about Francis, aka 2-Bit, and she didn't even really know him. Never really met him, seen him, but never really came in too much contact with him because he worked for Tommy. This is good. But when is anybody gonna realize that 2-Bit can be linked to Tariq? So when Bobby Brown picked up Braden and Trace finally, they got pulled over by that cop that's sleeping with Monet. And he basically said, say, bro, you out here being real reckless right now. Okay, we got a few calls in saying some white boys was selling dope on the block. And then you got them here in your car and one's in the back seat looking like somebody just beat his ass. Like, you really doing a lot. So he tells Braden and Trace to go stand by his car when he has this conversation with Bobby Brown and tells Bobby Brown to take his ass home. Bobby Brown was like, you need to get some of that bass out of your voice. He was like, listen, I don't work for you. I don't even really work for your mama. I work for your daddy. We all work for your daddy. Get that shit through your head. Take your ass home, okay? So the cop drops Braden and Trace off. Trace is pissed and wants to file charges on them. They were kidnapped. Let's call mom and dad. Braden is like, shut the fuck up. I'm like, y'all gonna have to kill Trace because I don't think this is over. Like, Trace is one of them white boys where it doesn't matter how in danger their life is, their entitlement is what is foremost in their minds. That they're white and they're rich and this shouldn't happen to them and they should be able to do something about it no matter what, even if somebody has a gun to their damn head. It's ridiculous, okay? I really hope there's some, slow singing and flower bringing as far as Trace is concerned. He's got to go. He's problematic. He's got to go. You know what? Listen, I know I sound terrible, but I watch way too many TV shows like this. And honestly, I feel like somebody's going to have to give him a hot shot. There's a way to work this out, but Trace has to go. He has my nerves bad. He has me feeling like he's going to be Braden's downfall at some point. So Braden goes rushing back into the room with Tariq and Riley. Riley's happy to see him, gives him 2 minutes to talk to Tariq before they're going to her place, okay? Because she's obviously overstayed her welcome in their dorm room. Yes, she has. Braden explains what happened, that Kane came and made them go and sell on the block. and that they loved him out there and he made so much money and it felt so good because for once it was his and not his parents' money. Of course, Tariq is worried about Trace and he's like, he has no choice but to be quiet. I'm like, y'all are really overestimating his intelligence. Y'all really, really are. But you know what? Whatever. Tariq calls Monet. Monet already knows about the drugs. Of course, he knew Diana would say something because she was butthurt that she thought he was in a room with Lauren when he wasn't. Either way, at some point, Riley was going through his phone. I'm not sure what she saw. I'm not. But at the end of the day, he really allowed way too much room for her to be all in his business. Like, you're really being dumb. She's obviously a narc. When Monet gets off the phone with Tariq, the cop tells her she needs to get Bobby Brown's ass under control, okay? And she really may not be able to because he's a man, you know what I mean? Which puts something on everybody's mind. But the cop storms off because once again, Monet has to remind him that Bobby Brown ain't his kid and she's not his woman and blah, 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 my man in jail. Like, okay, Monet, you gonna get tired of making that man feel away, okay? He gonna get real bitter and upset with you one day and it ain't gonna be, you know, it ain't gonna be how you think it's gonna go down. I'm just saying. So anyway, they get 2-bit to court. And he gets on the stand and makes Saxe look like a damn fool. He denies knowing Tommy. He denies, you know, Tommy being a drug dealer. I don't know anything about that, okay? He says that Blanca Rodriguez set him up. Didn't you just get her suspended, Saxe? Oh, okay then, okay? But he basically says that he's seen Tasha through passing. He just knows her as that, you know, Lieutenant Governor nigga's wife. Okay, he has to correct himself in court. But he basically says he doesn't know her. He just knows her son Tariq because he helped him one day when he got lost. He got mixed up with some bad people. All right. So it's obvious that they're starting to set Tariq up in order to make Tasha look as if she's just, you know, a woman who was involved with the wrong man and her child got involved with the wrong people. But it made her look good. But now she's wondering, why are we bringing up Tariq? Why is nobody like instantly like, I know what's going on now? Like, even though there's so much evidence when it comes to Riley and Tariq, when it comes to this whole Davis Saxe situation, like you can tell they're trying to set it up to put it on Tariq. And Tasha can feel it, but she's not sure. Bobby Brown gets home and Monet goes off on him for the way he's handling shit. You not being smart. You got them 2 white boys driving around in a car with you with dope on you. What if somebody else had stopped you? You know what I'm saying? We have a whole nother issue to deal with. So they get into it. Drew and Diana come downstairs and then the kerfuffle, he turns around and elbows Monet and she falls down. Bobby Brown, I mean. He reaches down to help her up, but in all honesty, it wasn't fast enough for me. So she slaps his hand away and he walks out. He goes to see his daddy. He goes see Poppy in prison and complain about his mom. And Poppy is like, at the end of the day, she's me out there. Okay, so whatever she says, you need to listen. You need to learn from her so that when it's your turn, you can take over. But until then, Monet is the boss. Okay, so he hugs his dad, walks out. And then when he gets into the little holding area before they let him out of the actual area, because, you know, there are all these doorways and locked doors and all of that before they can let somebody out, right? The security guards beat the shit out of Bobby Brown. Not that bad, but good enough to have a little blood in his mouth. And then Poppy comes out and stands over him and says, "Don't you ever put your hands on my wife again." I'm like, this is really going to turn Bobby Brown against his family. Like, y'all gonna learn to stop ostracizing people and creating enemies out of your loved ones, because that's what y'all are out here doing. And it's even more plain to see that both Monet and Poppy see their, you know, because I forgot his name, Lorenzo, child, whatever his name is. But Poppy and Monet see their kids as little foot soldiers, not as kids that they love and care for. That is going to bite them in the ass eventually. And you can't tell me no different. Tasha calls Tariq to tell him about 2-Bit. And she asks if there's any way that Davis could know what really happened. Tariq says no. So for right now, they're still trusting Davis. It's the same conversation that they had at the beginning of the episode. You got all this new evidence showing that they're trying to draw a correlation between Tariq and 2-Bit. Okay, so obviously Tariq is going to end up having something to do with how Tasha gets off, but they don't know. They ain't picked it up yet. I'm like, y'all as dumb as y'all want to be. Where the hell is Ghost when you need him? Oh yeah, you killed him, Tariq. Damn it, you killed the smartest person that we all knew in this situation, okay? Steven is pissed off at Sax because he doesn't know what the end game is. Okay, from where he was sitting, this looks as if Sax got his ass handed to him. When really this is what Sax wanted, because they're gonna get Tasha off and arrest Tariq, right? That's what he wants. He's even more pissed because Francis gets to walk, and which he believes is for absolutely nothing. And then we see 2-Bit get out of jail, and he still has that Rolex that he got from James on his wrist. I was just kind of like, child, what we gonna get from 2-Bit? What's gonna happen with Francis? I'm nervous. All of Francis' business partners are dead and gone. So, you know, what he gonna do? But, you know, them letting him out of jail and them showing us them letting him out of jail makes me think we're gonna see more from him. Either way, the episode was good, you guys. How are y'all enjoying Power thus far? Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you have not already. I love y'all, and I'll see y'all in the next one.